This Minnesota Twins team right now, they got no marbles. They got no marbles, this Twins team. This Twins team, zero mojo. This team has lost its mojo. And if I want to lose my rest of my younger audience, I should probably stop with the mid to late 90s movie references here. The Twins lost a home series to the Pirates. Let's get into that, talk about these three games, talk about what's coming up ahead here. What's up? This is Tom Froming from Twins Daily. Thank you for clicking on this video. Let's talk about this series, you brave soul willing to consume some more Twins content in this awful, awful slump that they're on right now. But, looking back to the first game of the series Friday night, it was so nice to see the Twins, obviously just get a win. But to, get it done on a close game, a 2-0 game, they figured out a way to win that one. And there was hope on Friday night. It's kind of funny to say now on Sunday after the next two games, but there was hope that maybe, hey, this is a turning point. This is where things kind of get headed the right direction. And no, that was not the case, as the Twins lost the next two games, both by the score of 6-2. We're going to start on the rotation, and then we're going to talk about the bullpen, and then we're going to talk about the lineup. I actually think this was overall an encouraging series for the rotation, because I'm not worried about Michael Pineda. He's the guy who had the worst start out of the three guys who started. And long term, I don't really, we'll obviously keep an eye on what happens, but I'm not too worried about Michael Pineda long term. Just was not a great start for him. So had a pretty, he's striking some guys out, and not like he lost his command or control completely. But they were just getting hits falling. He gave up a couple home runs. Again, not his greatest start, but seeing Happ pitch really well, carried a no-hitter into the eighth inning in that first game. And then Matt Shoemaker looked really poor in the first inning, but then, give him credit, he did string together a decent outing. Game score 2.0 is this first column. Anything over 50 is above average, so a very slightly above average start for Matt Shoemaker. But one of the things I wanted to kind of point out in this bottom section here was that these three starting pitchers for the Twins in this series combined to have just a 14.7 strikeout percentage, and 24.5 is league average. So that's certainly not encouraging there. Moving it over to the bullpen, and there are this wasn't a great performance by the bullpen, but they've had worse this year. That's that's for sure. This wasn't the big glaring issue with this series. 5 earned runs in 10 innings pitched is not good. But 14 strikeouts versus just 2 walks is very good. And they got a little better on the strands. They have been historically bad at preventing inherited runners from scoring coming into this series. At least they stranded 4 out of 6 of their inherited runners in this series, so things kind of turning around. And then they had a very ever so slightly positive WPA. We'll take that as a minor victory right now. And again, that first game on Friday night, they won it 2-0. Taylor Rogers got his first save, so he got the final 2 outs and got the save there. Bullpen getting the job done in that game. And the lineup, this is where it was ugly. This is where the problems were. You only score 2. It's almost kind of against the odds that they won a game in this series, scoring exactly 2 runs each game. You're not going to win a lot of games doing that. And across the board, the numbers are just awful. 26 strikeouts in 3 games and only 5 walks. They hit 154 with runners in scoring position. Left 13 men on base. That's not a ton because they weren't getting on base. A 190 BABIP. That is shockingly bad. Only 5 extra base hits and then a 36% hard hit rate. That's not that bad. It's actually shocking that they hit the ball as hard as they did and had a BABIP as poor as they did. Sometimes if you have a bad BABIP, it just means you're not hitting the ball well. That's not necessarily the case here, as I pointed out down at the bottom. League averages for BABIP is 284. And, we're looking at a very small sample. So, sometimes, you're going to have a 400 plus BABIP in a series in just 3 games. But clearly 190 is very poor. But that hard hit rate, that's measuring how many balls you're hitting 95 plus miles per hour. And then the averages are something like you have like a 500 batting average when you do that, when you hit the ball that hard. So the Twins were at 36 for this series. 39.2 is the league average, so not too far off there. So just more frustration in terms of the team just not executing, not getting things done. And yes, there's certainly something to do with there are balls that aren't falling in that usually would. Definitely. But I still go back to the start, and I don't know there's going to be, this isn't like a controversial opinion. I don't think any Minnesota Twins fan who's been paying close attention is going to disagree with that. As harsh as it may seem, this team lacks heart right now. Marbles, mojo, whatever you want to call it. This team doesn't have it. There's just a vibe, man, and it's a bad vibe. It's a bad vibe right now. And I understand that this team has been going through quite a bit, rolling into the season, losing their bench coach, Mike Bell, and then going through and having, not only a lot of guys not available due to COVID, but then all these postponements. It's certainly something to keep in mind regarding maybe your long-term outlook for this team. Those kind of things are going to hopefully get better, have less of an impact on the team as time goes on. But, there's nothing, there's no defense on this team and the way it's playing right now. It's incredibly frustrating to watch. I still don't think that this is going to be the team we see over. They're playing to like 100 loss pace. So no, I don't think they're going to lose 100 games. I think we're going to see some stretches where sort of the opposite's going to be true, and this team's going to be having just all the luck in the world and having balls bounce their way. But, nobody really knows when that's going to happen. And the mojo thing is sort of, I think, what keeps stuff like this lingering. We've seen a lot of teams. We've seen a lot of Twins teams in the past have really bad starts, turn it around, and have big time seasons. It's possible. It's certainly possible, but they got to get stuff turned around. They got to get the vibe turned around, man. They don't look like they're having a good time at all. And, losing sucks. So I don't expect, like I said, you wouldn't expect them to be having a good time losing, floating around here. But, there's also like just a visible lack of confidence. That's hard to, you can't really quantify it. It's kind of harsh to say that. Looking on the outside in, but like I said, I think anybody who's watched this team a fair amount so far this year sees it and would agree with me on that. So, it's one of those things that you don't know when that's going to go away or how long it's going to linger. They gotta get the marbles back. They gotta get the mojo back. They gotta find a way here. And next series, they're going to Cleveland. All right, so taking a look ahead at the schedule, you can see here going to Cleveland Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday before a day off, and then they host Kansas City. So real quick little road trip here to Cleveland. And as we can see, Cleveland is also below 500 right now. They're struggling a little bit, 3-7 in their last 10. So they're kind of looking to kind of get the ship pointed the right direction as well. And of course, our old friend Eddie Rosario is on Cleveland now. Just taking a look. Love Eddie. It's very early. Like we've been saying with the Twins, is certainly true of anybody in baseball right now. But he's not off to the best of starts with Cleveland. He's hitting .216 with a .263 on base percentage and a .351 slugging. That's a .614 OPS. So, not really. You wouldn't say that the Twins are necessarily missing that kind of production, although it's probably better than what they've gotten out of their left fielders, if we're being honest. And again, just want to say plenty of time for him, like anybody else, any team, and it's so early, plenty of time for him to turn things around, but he's not off to the best of starts. Just jumping back here, I'll leave you with the standings up so you can take a look, but this is usually in these videos where I would roll into some highlights. Unfortunately, I got a copyright claim on one of my recent ones of these. We're not going to do that on these series reviews, but I'll leave a card or something for an Astudillo home run video that he hit that was ridiculous, and also some other stuff. So thanks for checking this out. Again, this has been Tom for more Twins Talk here. Please consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video. Leave me a like. Thank you.